Today, we will talk about management theory, essential background for the successful manager. Evolving viewpoints, how we got to today's management outlook. In this section, we will discuss the following topics: creating modern management, the handbook of Peter Drucker, 6 practical reasons for studying this chapter, and the progression of management perspectives. Peter Drucker, often referred to as the father of modern management, famously stated, "The best way to predict the future is to create it." This book aims to equip you with tools to shape your career and managerial future. Drucker, an Austrian economist who moved to the US in 1937, recognized the need for effective management in complex organizations. His seminal work, The Practice of Management, published in 1954, established management as a profession akin to law or medicine. Drucker introduced several foundational concepts in management, including treating workers as valuable assets, viewing corporations as human communities, emphasizing the importance of customers in business, advocating for structured management practices over charismatic leadership. His ideas on decentralization, management by objectives, and knowledge workers have profoundly influenced contemporary management practices. Drucker's rational and evidence-based approach has been pivotal in the evolution of global corporations. 6 practical reasons for studying this chapter. Business professors Clayton Christensen and Michael Rayner argue that theory should not be dismissed as impractical. Rather, it offers valuable insights for managers. Here are 6 reasons to study theoretical perspectives. Understanding the present. Sound theories help interpret current events and trends, providing context for why certain management practices persist. Guide to action. Good theories enable predictions and establish principles that guide decision-making. For instance, supply and demand theory explains labor cost fluctuations based on employee availability and demand. Source of new ideas. Theories can inspire innovative solutions to new challenges. For example, theories of employee engagement suggest that organizational culture, rather than just compensation, drives employee motivation and performance. Insight into management decisions. Understanding theories can clarify the rationale behind your manager's decisions and organizational focus. Understanding external events. Theoretical frameworks can also help you interpret external factors that may impact your organization. Producing positive results. Studying successful management practices, such as setting stretch goals and performance-based rewards, can reveal why certain strategies yield positive outcomes. This figure progression of management perspectives shows how management thought has evolved over time, moving from early classical ideas to modern, contemporary approaches. We will discuss each approach in detail during this chapter. Classical viewpoint. Scientific and administrative management. Have you ever heard of a Thurblig? A Thurblig is a term invented by Frank Gilbreth, taken from his own name spelled backward with slight changes. It represents one of 17 basic hand or body motions workers use while performing tasks. By studying these Thurbligs, Frank and his wife, Lillian Gilbreth, were able to spot unnecessary movements and reduce worker fatigue, greatly improving efficiency. The Gilbreths, as pioneers in industrial engineering, played a key role in shaping the classical viewpoint of management 1911 to 1947. This perspective, part of the broader historical approaches to management, focused on making work more efficient under the assumption that people act rationally. The classical viewpoint itself had two main branches: scientific management, which concentrated on optimizing work processes, and administrative management, which emphasized how organizations should be structured and managed. Scientific management, pioneered by Taylor and the Gilbreths. Scientific management emerged in the early 20th century as a solution to improve worker productivity during a time of labor shortage. It involves the systematic study of work methods to enhance efficiency, primarily advocated by Frederick W. Taylor and the Gilbreth team. Frederick Taylor's 4 principles of scientific management. Scientific task evaluation. Analyze tasks through scientific study rather than traditional methods to set realistic performance goals. Worker selection. Carefully choose employees with the appropriate skills for each task. Training and incentives. Provide workers with the necessary training and motivation to perform tasks effectively. Work planning. Utilize scientific principles to plan work methods that facilitate workers' tasks. Taylor's approach included motion studies, breaking down jobs into basic motions to identify best practices, and implementing a differential pay system where more efficient workers earned higher wages. Despite facing resistance from workers concerned about job security, Taylor believed that increased productivity would ultimately benefit both labor and management by boosting profits. His principles and innovations, such as motion studies and differential pay, continue to influence management practices today. Frank and Lillian Gilbreth, known for their contributions to industrial engineering, drew upon their experiences raising 12 children to implement efficiency-improving ideas. Their innovative methods, including utilizing movie cameras to film workers and analyze job processes, expanded on Frederick Taylor's motion studies. Their story, inspired by their family life, was popularized in various forms, such as a book, 2 movies, and a TV sitcom titled Cheaper by the Dozen. Lillian Gilbreth, who held a PhD in psychology, made history as the first woman to significantly impact the field of management science. Administrative management. Administrative management focuses on managing the entire organization rather than individual jobs, differentiating it from scientific management. Key pioneers in this field include Charles Clinton Spaulding, Henry Fayol, and Max Weber, who contributed foundational concepts that shaped modern management practices. Charles Clinton Spaulding and the fundamental necessities of management. Charles Clinton Spaulding, recognized as the father of African American management, proposed 8 fundamental necessities of management drawn from his experiences in farming and later as a leader at the North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Company. His classic article published in the Pittsburgh Courier in 1927 emphasized the importance of broader management considerations beyond mere task orientation. Spaulding identified essential elements such as authority, division of labor, adequate capital, proper budgeting, and teamwork as vital for effective organizational operations. Moreover, he underscored the significance of enriching the lives of both employees and the community while maintaining a focus on profitability. This holistic approach to management has had a lasting impact on how organizations operate today. Henry Fell and the functions of management. Henry Fell, a French engineer and industrialist, is renowned for systematizing management behavior, making significant contributions to the field. Although he was not the first to study management, his work gained prominence in the United States following the English translation of his seminal book, General and Industrial Management, in 1930. Importance of Fell's contributions. Fell is particularly important for being the first to clearly delineate the major functions of management: planning, organizing, leading, controlling, and coordinating. These functions provide a foundational framework that informs much of contemporary management theory and practice, making them central to the study of management in various contexts. His systematic approach laid the groundwork for understanding how effective management operates within organizations. Max Weber and the rationality of bureaucracy. Max Weber, a German sociologist, had a distinct view of bureaucracy, contrasting sharply with contemporary negative connotations associated with the term, such as inflexibility and inefficiency. To Weber, bureaucracy represented a rational and efficient organizational model grounded in logical principles. During the late 19th century in Germany, many individuals held positions of authority due to social status rather than competence, leading to ineffective governance. Weber argued that organizations could perform better by implementing a bureaucratic structure. Weber identified 5 essential features of a well-functioning bureaucracy: well-defined hierarchy of authority. Clear lines of authority ensure orderly management. Formal rules and procedures. Established guidelines help standardize operations. Clear division of labor. Specialists handle different parts of complex tasks, enhancing efficiency. Impersonality. Decisions are made without personal biases, promoting fairness. Careers based on merit. Promotions and hiring are based on individual capabilities rather than personal connections. Although Weber's work was not translated into English until 1947, it significantly influenced the organizational structures of large corporations, including companies like Coca-Cola. His insights into bureaucracy provided a framework for understanding how organizations could operate more effectively and laid the groundwork for modern management practices. The problem with the classical viewpoint: too mechanistic. One significant flaw in the classical viewpoint of management is its mechanistic perspective. This approach tends to treat humans as mere cogs within a machine, neglecting the importance of human needs, emotions, and motivations. As a result, it can overlook how these factors influence productivity and job satisfaction. The behavioral theory emerged in response to this limitation, emphasizing the need to consider the human element in management. Importance of the classical viewpoint. Despite its shortcomings, the classical viewpoint remains important for its foundational contributions to management theory. It established the idea that work activities could be analyzed and improved through rational approaches, such as scientific methods, time and motion studies, and job specialization. These concepts continue to be relevant today, evident in the efficient operations of fast food chains like McDonald's and Pizza Hut. Furthermore, the classical viewpoint paved the way for innovations such as management by objectives and goal setting, which are still widely utilized in contemporary management practices. Okay. The second of the three historical management perspectives was the behavioral viewpoint, which emphasized the importance of understanding human behavior and of motivating employees toward achievement. The behavioral viewpoint developed over three phases. One, early behaviorism, was pioneered by Hugo Munsterberg, Mary Parker Follett, and Elton Mayo. Two, the human relations movement was pioneered by Abraham Maslow, who proposed a hierarchy of needs, and Douglas McGregor, who proposed a theory X and theory Y view to explain managers' attitudes toward workers. Three, the behavioral science approach relied on scientific research for developing theories about behavior useful to managers. We will discuss each phase in the following slides. Early behaviorism was significantly shaped by three pioneers: Hugo Munsterberg, Mary Parker Follett, and Elton Mayo. Hugo Munsterberg, a German-born psychologist who joined Harvard in 1892, is often called the father of industrial psychology. He proposed that psychology could enhance industry through three main contributions: analyzing jobs to match individuals effectively, determining the psychological conditions that foster optimal employee performance, and creating management strategies that align employee interests with organizational goals. His work laid the foundation for industrial psychology, a field that is still taught and practiced today. Mary Parker Follett, a notable social worker and social philosopher, challenged traditional hierarchical management structures. She believed organizations should operate more democratically, with managers and employees collaborating as equals. Follett emphasized that organizations should function as communities, where conflicts are resolved through open dialogue and mutual understanding, a process she termed integration. She also argued that those with relevant knowledge should control work processes, with managers acting as facilitators. Her ideas anticipated modern concepts like self-managed teams and worker empowerment. Elton Mayo, while not as extensively covered, also contributed to behaviorism by highlighting the importance of social relations and employee well-being in the workplace, further enriching the understanding of human behavior in organizational settings. Together, these pioneers laid crucial groundwork for modern management and organizational psychology. In the late 1920s, Elton Mayo and his team conducted research at Western Electric's Hawthorne plant, exploring whether changes in workplace conditions, such as lighting, affected worker productivity. Initially focused on lighting levels, the studies later examined other variables, including wages and work hours. Over time, they observed that worker performance tended to increase, leading to the hypothesis of the Hawthorne effect, the idea that employees are more productive when they feel they are receiving special attention and care from managers. However, subsequent investigations revealed flaws in the original studies, such as overlooked variations in environmental factors and insufficient follow-up. Critics argued that productivity improvements might not solely stem from receiving attention, but could be linked to specific instructional methods or social changes within the workplace. Despite the criticisms and design limitations, the Hawthorne studies highlighted the significance of social dynamics in the workplace and the role of good human relations in enhancing productivity. This focus on the social aspects of work laid the groundwork for the human relations movement that emerged in the 1950s and 1960s, emphasizing the importance of employee welfare and interpersonal relationships in organizational settings. The human relations movement emerged as a significant shift in management theory, emphasizing that improved human relations could enhance worker productivity. Two key figures in this movement were Abraham Maslow and Douglas McGregor. Abraham Maslow was a pioneering psychologist who introduced his influential hierarchy of needs in 1943. He proposed that human motivation is driven by a series of needs categorized into 5 levels: physiological, safety, love, esteem, and self-actualization. According to Maslow, individuals must satisfy lower-level needs before they can address higher-level ones, such as self-fulfillment. His work laid the foundation for understanding motivation in the workplace and highlighted the importance of addressing employees' various needs to foster productivity. We will discuss this hierarchy in detail in Chapter 12, where we explain why Maslow is important. Douglas McGregor, a former college president, emphasized the importance of managers recognizing their attitudes toward employees. In his 1960 book, he introduced the concepts of Theory X and Theory Y to illustrate contrasting views of worker motivation and behavior. Theory X represents a pessimistic perspective, viewing workers as inherently lazy, irresponsible, resistant to change, and seeking direction rather than leadership. Managers who subscribe to this theory tend to micromanage, believing that employees require constant supervision and control. In contrast, Theory Y offers an optimistic outlook, portraying workers as capable of self-direction, responsibility, and creativity. This perspective encourages managers to foster an environment that promotes autonomy and collaboration, recognizing employees' potential for growth and innovation. The significance of the Theory X Theory Y framework lies in its ability to help managers understand how their beliefs influence their management styles and behaviors. For instance, a Theory X mindset can lead to micromanagement and employee dissatisfaction, while a Theory Y approach can enhance motivation and overall workplace morale. The behavioral science approach emerged as a response to the limitations of both scientific management and the overly simplistic optimism of the human relations movement. While the human relations view emphasized the importance of interpersonal dynamics, it was often criticized for lacking practical applicability in real-world management. In contrast, the behavioral science approach integrates insights from various disciplines, including psychology, sociology, anthropology, and economics, to develop a more nuanced understanding of human behavior in organizational settings. This approach relies on scientific research to formulate theories and practical tools that managers can use to enhance employee motivation, productivity, and overall workplace dynamics. By grounding management practices in empirical evidence, the behavioral science approach aims to create more effective and adaptable organizational strategies. The quantitative viewpoints represent the third category in historical perspectives on management, emphasizing the use of quantitative techniques, such as statistics and computer simulations, to enhance decision-making processes. Two primary approaches within this framework are management science and operations management. The origins of quantitative management can be traced back to World War II, particularly during the Battle of Britain, where military planners utilized mathematics and statistics to optimize the allocation of limited resources, such as fighter planes. This model inspired the formation of operations research teams in the U.S. military to improve the deployment of troops and equipment. Techniques developed during this time, such as establishing optimal search patterns for locating enemy ships, laid the groundwork for later applications in business. After the war, former military officers, known as the whiz kids, applied these statistical techniques at companies like Ford Motor Co. to refine management decisions. Their success led to broader applications in various sectors, including the U.S. Department of Defense under Robert McNamara, who promoted similar analytical methods. Management science focuses on employing mathematical models to solve complex management problems, distinguishing itself from earlier scientific management approaches by emphasizing rational, science-based techniques. This discipline has evolved into an essential component of modern decision-making, serving as a precursor to analytics and big data in contemporary management practices. Operations management is centered on enhancing the production and delivery of an organization's products or services. It encompasses a range of day-to-day functions, including scheduling and delegating work, planning production to meet customer demand, designing services, and optimizing facility locations. Additionally, it involves determining appropriate inventory levels to minimize costs and reduce back orders. A key aspect of operations management is the focus on improving productivity and efficiency while maintaining high quality in both goods and services. It also includes managing the supply chain, which involves overseeing the entire process of product creation, from sourcing raw materials and technology to delivering the final product to customers, and even ensuring responsible disposal or recycling. The importance of operations management lies in its ability to rationally manage resources and the distribution of goods and services, ensuring that business operations run efficiently and effectively. This ultimately supports overall organizational success and customer satisfaction. 3 contemporary management perspectives, systems, contingency, and quality management provide valuable frameworks for understanding organizational dynamics. The systems viewpoint conceptualizes organizations as systems made up of interconnected parts, including inputs, outputs, transformation processes, and feedback loops. This perspective has led to the development of complexity theory, which explores how order and patterns can emerge from complex, seemingly chaotic systems. By recognizing these interconnections, managers can better understand how various elements of an organization influence one another. The contingency viewpoint emphasizes the need for flexibility in management approaches, suggesting that strategies should vary based on specific individual and environmental circumstances. This perspective aligns with evidence-based management, advocating for decisions that are informed by data and context rather than a one-size-fits-all philosophy. It highlights the importance of adapting management styles to meet the unique challenges of different situations. The quality management viewpoint focuses on ensuring high standards in products and services through various strategies. It traditionally includes quality control, which minimizes errors at each production stage, and quality assurance, which encourages employees to aim for 0 defects. A more comprehensive approach, known as Total Quality Management (TQM), emphasizes continuous improvement, employee training, and customer satisfaction as integral to enhancing quality across the organization. While these contemporary perspectives offer robust insights for effective management, the complexity of human behavior requires managers to also navigate individual differences. Thus, Integrating these contemporary viewpoints with historical management theories enhances the understanding of effective organizational leadership. The systems viewpoint conceptualizes organizations as systems made up of interrelated parts that work together to achieve a common purpose. This perspective allows for a dual understanding of an organization as a collection of subsystems and as part of a larger environment. For instance, a college consists of various academic departments and support staff, while also interacting with parents, alumni, and legislators within the educational ecosystem. There are 4 key components of a system. Inputs. These include the people, money, information, equipment, and materials necessary for producing goods or services. Inputs are the resources that enter the system. Transformational processes. This refers to the organization's capabilities, including management and technology, that convert inputs into outputs. The primary function of the organization is to transform these inputs effectively. Outputs. The products, services, and overall results generated by the organization, including profits, employee satisfaction, and customer feedback, fall under this category. Feedback. This is the information regarding the environment's reaction to the outputs, which influences future inputs. For example, customer purchasing behavior provides crucial feedback for the organization. Organizations can be classified as either closed systems, which have minimal interaction with their environment and receive limited feedback, or open systems, which continuously interact with external factors. Open systems are more adaptable and can produce synergy, where the combined effect of multiple components exceeds the sum of their individual effects. The systems viewpoint has also led to the development of complexity theory, which studies how order and patterns emerge from chaotic systems. Complexity theory emphasizes that organizations consist of many interdependent parts that interact based on simple rules, aiding in understanding how they adapt to their environments. The importance of the systems viewpoint, particularly the concept of open systems, lies in its ability to promote continuous learning and improvement. History has shown that products developed in closed systems often fail due to inadequate feedback. In contrast, open systems encourage ongoing feedback from both internal and external sources, allowing organizations to correct past mistakes and innovate more effectively. The contingency viewpoint in contemporary management emphasizes that a manager's approach should adapt based on individual circumstances and environmental factors. Unlike classical management theories proposed by figures such as Taylor, Spalding, and Fayol, which assumed universal applications and promoted a one best way to manage, the contingency viewpoint recognizes that flexibility can lead to better outcomes. This perspective emerged when managers realized that rigid adherence to a single management style might not yield optimal results in all situations. For example, a manager following the Gilbreth approach might seek to enhance productivity by simplifying processes, while a Theory X/Theory Y manager might employ motivational techniques. In contrast, a contingency manager would evaluate the specific context and ask, what method is the best to use under these particular circumstances? Gary Hamel, a prominent business thinker, argues that much of existing management theory is outdated and no longer fits the realities of modern organizational life. He advocates for ongoing management innovation, suggesting that organizations should view management as a process that requires systematic improvements. He believes that just as managers innovate in products and strategies, they should also embrace innovation in management practices. To foster management innovation, particularly in traditional organizations, Hamill suggests identifying and challenging core beliefs that may hinder progress. He proposes key questions to assess these beliefs. Is this belief worth challenging? Is it harmful and obstructing important organizational goals? Is this belief universally valid? Are there counterexamples that provide valuable insights? How does this belief benefit its adherents? Do certain individuals find comfort in maintaining it? Have our choices made this belief self-fulfilling? Is it true simply because we have accepted it? And can we envision alternatives? The importance of the contingency viewpoint lies in its practicality, as it encourages managers to address problems on a case-by-case basis, adapting solutions to fit specific situations. This flexible approach allows organizations to respond more effectively to the unique challenges they encounter. Evidence-based management aligns closely with the practical nature of the contingency viewpoint by emphasizing the use of empirical evidence to inform decision-making in organizations. This approach seeks to translate principles derived from the best available evidence into actionable practices, thereby enhancing rationality in managerial decisions. Proponents of evidence-based management, notably Stanford scholars Jeffrey Pfeffer and Robert Sutton, argue that confronting the hard facts about what works and what doesn't is crucial for organizational success. They highlight the importance of distinguishing between conventional wisdom, which often comprises dangerous half-truths, and genuine evidence that can guide effective management. By rejecting misleading advice and focusing on substantiated facts, organizations can improve their performance significantly. The goal of evidence-based management is to cultivate a decision-making framework that prioritizes data and factual insights over assumptions and anecdotal guidance. Through this approach, managers are encouraged to engage critically with various management theories and practices, enabling them to make informed choices that are more likely to yield positive outcomes. Ultimately, this method fosters a culture of continuous learning and adaptation within organizations. Learning organizations actively create, acquire, and transfer knowledge, adapting their behaviors to incorporate new insights. To build such organizations, managers can focus on three key strategies: establishing a culture of shared knowledge, providing learning opportunities, and fostering a mindset of continuous improvement. Organizations, like individuals, must continually learn to innovate and improve, making it essential for managers to cultivate an environment that enhances employee learning. This is particularly relevant for millennials, who expect learning opportunities in the workplace. Peter Senge, who coined the term learning organizations, describes them as environments where individuals expand their capacity to achieve desired results, nurture new ways of thinking, and collaboratively pursue shared goals. Ultimately, prioritizing learning as part of the organizational culture is crucial for long-term success. A learning organization is defined as one that actively creates, acquires, and transfers knowledge, and modifies its behavior based on this new knowledge. This concept includes three key components: creating and acquiring knowledge. Managers in learning organizations infuse new ideas and information by continuously scanning external environments, hiring new talent, and investing in employee training. They foster a culture that encourages questions and values diverse opinions, recognizing that constructive discussions can lead to innovative ideas. Learning from failures is also essential, as demonstrated by companies like Google. Transferring knowledge. Successful companies like American Express and Apple cultivate strong learning cultures. Formal training programs, akin to universities, are employed to facilitate knowledge sharing. Managers should actively reduce barriers to information exchange, share personal experiences, and align learning goals with business objectives. Embracing new technologies, such as Walmart's use of virtual reality for training, can enhance employee learning. Modifying behavior. Learning organizations focus on results. Training opportunities must address specific employee or organizational needs and clearly link learning to performance improvement. Follow-up measures, such as surveys, help ensure that employees apply new skills effectively, identifying any further coaching needed.
Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to channel.